Ruddick and Melissa Snelling live in East Sussex in the UK. They both enjoy diving and swimming in the ocean whenever they can. They also love building things together in their workshop and writing books, like this one they just published, The Little Yellow Hermit Crab. The little yellow hermit crab learns how to overcome a very difficult situation. Finding inspiration in the books she likes to read, she's able to create something useful and enjoyable to help other creatures' everyday life. The story was originally conceived by the authors for their beloved nieces and nephews to help them understand the importance of wearing facial masks during the 2020 pandemic. Mark today is here with us to answer our question and introduce us to their new children's story. Hi, Mark. I'm glad to see you.
Hello. Nice to see you too.
Tell me, what is The Little Yellow Hermit Crab about?
Well, I think you summed it up very well there. It was just a very simple book that back in March 2020, when we were first going into the lockdown, there was a face mask shortage here in the UK. And so Mel and I made a load of homemade face masks and posted them off to our sort of friends and relatives. And the material that we had left over for the kids' masks was yellow. And so when we sent that to our nieces and nephews, we just wrote a little book to go along with it to just go, this is why we're wearing masks. It's about helping other people and keeping other people safe. And so it just hopefully made it less scary and less intimidating for children to wear masks.
Yeah, in this regard, how do you think can literature help? Why it is so important during this pandemic, during this situation? How can help children in particular?
I think literature is important in the fact that everything is stories. Everything is what we tell ourselves it is, whether that's as adults or as children. Like we have certain patterns of behavior and certain beliefs and abilities that all come from us telling stories to each other and deciding this is what we should do. And we only have to look at how it took almost a year to get the majority of people just to wear a mask, let alone a toddler.
Yeah.
And I think it's actually that thing of, in children's literature, quite nicely, is children are actually a little bit more pliable and willing to accept change, whereas adults are that little bit harder. So hopefully an adult reading a book like The Little Hermit Crab to their children will also get the message of just going, this isn't about me, this is about other people. So you wear the shells to protect themselves and to protect each other.
Totally agree. And beyond the COVID situation, what else can this precious story teach children? Why should they read it and buy the book?
I think the main thrust behind the story is the idea of creativity and construction, that actually building a product, building something is something that everyone is capable of, and that by actually putting effort into making an object usually means that you benefit yourself and those around you, whether that's in a pandemic or elsewise. It's one of those things. It's nice to get people building and feeling like they can make things with their hands, or indeed with their claws, as this one is.
Okay, one last curiosity. Do you and Mel have more literary plans for the future for children in particular?
Yes. Well, there is actually a second book already written, which again was about social distancing. So it was still in the pandemic strain of the little yellow hermit crab getting to become friends with the electric eel, who unfortunately you can't get too close to because you will get zapped. So it's about learning how to interact with people that you may not interact with in a regular way. So whether that's in a pandemic, or indeed, I took a lot of inspiration from that from knowing autistic children growing up, and the fact that you couldn't be as physical with them as you might want to be with your other playmates, because that interaction is very different. So that's the second book. And then, yeah, there's lots of other stories that are in the works that I'm working on at the moment, and it's a lovely thing just to write some stories and then watch my partner illustrate them. It's just a nice thing to do of an evening.
Well, we'll be waiting then to read more.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mark. The Little Yellow Hermit Crab by Mark Ruddick and Melissa Snelling is now available in bookstores and digital platforms. A very educational story which can help during the hard circumstances we're experiencing, and a pleasant and captivating reading. A publication by Eurobooks.